In the heart of the arid fruit belt, the pomegranate harvest reaches its peak window.
Despite their tough exterior, the internal seeds are highly sensitive to impact shock.
A two-person team clears a tree in under 4 minutes, filling crates with practiced rhythm.
The fruit is moved immediately to the aisle to minimize heat exposure. Collection tractors run continuous loops, ensuring the pomegranates never sit in the sun for long.
Direct sunlight can cook the fruit inside its skin, ruining the juice quality.
The payload leaves the soft soil of the grove for the primary aggregation hub. A spot check confirms the sugar content and internal color meet factory standards. At the field hub, the harvest is consolidated for the long haul to the processing plant.
20 tons of raw pomegranate are secured for highway transport.
The journey from the agricultural world to the industrial world begins. Approaching the processing zone, the scale shifts from agricultural sprawl to concentrated industry.
This facility processes over 200 tons of pomegranates every single day. Strict intake protocols.
The raw harvest has arrived. Now, the transformation into liquid ruby begins. Precision starts at the gate. Every kilogram of pomegranate is accounted for to calculate yield. Gross weight is recorded. The tare weight will be subtracted later to determine the net pomegranate volume.
Sampling isn't superficial. We need to know the condition of the pomegranates buried deep in the stack.
If the sugar content, or bricks, is below 16%, the entire truckload of pomegranates is rejected.
Cleared for processing, the load moves to the intake bay. Exposed once more, the pomegranates are ready for offloading. Speed is essential to prevent heat buildup, but smoothness is vital to prevent cracking the pomegranate skin.
Every single crate is digitally tagged. We can trace the juice back to the specific tree.
Passive cooling in the staging area lowers the pomegranate's temperature before the wash begins. From here, the process becomes automated. The pomegranates leave the crate for the final time. Hydraulic tippers gently invert the half-ton bins.
They are dumped directly into water to cushion the fall and begin the soaking process.
Air knives separate the light field debris from the heavy pomegranates.
The bins are immediately washed and sanitized, ready to return to the farm.
The raw intake is complete. The fruit now enters the continuous production line.
Leaving the external yard, they ascend into the heart of the facility.
Spanning 300,000 square feet, this pomegranate plant is a fortress of hygiene.
Access is strictly controlled. Lint-free, button-free smocks prevent loose threads from falling into the pomegranate mash. The floor demarcation is absolute. Street shoes never touch the production side.
The hygiene sluice is a mechanical gatekeeper. You cannot proceed without passing each step.
The final barrier is the air shower.
He enters the high care zone.
Ahead lies the heart of the operation, the wet line.
We reconnect with our harvest, now ready for the wash.
Rising from the intake flume, the fruit enters the primary wash line. Rotating rollers ensure that not a single spot hides from the cleaning jets. Jets at 80 psi strip away field dust, dried mud, and any lingering insects. Soft bristles polish the leathery skin without damaging the precious cargo inside. Rinsed and sanitized, the true color of the harvest is finally revealed. Before the cameras can analyze them, the skins must be perfectly dry to prevent light reflection.
Human eyes are still the best tool for spotting complex defects like sun-scald or deep cracks.
Nose. Any fruit with compromised skin is removed immediately to prevent contaminating the juice.
Nothing is wasted. Rejects are diverted to local farms as high-nutrient livestock feed. To be measured, the fruit must be separated. No two can touch.
Optical graders take 40 images of every single fruit in a fraction of a second.
The algorithm categorizes them by millimeter diameter. Precision here dictates the efficiency of the extraction.
Air-actuated fingers divert the fruit into designated size lanes.
Size matters. The deshelling machines must be calibrated to the specific size of the fruit to work correctly.
Accumulation tables modulate the flow, preventing jams in the high-speed crackers.
Final surface sanitation ensures that when the shell is broken, no bacteria enters the juice. Clean, sized, and sanitized, they are lifted to the gravity-fed extraction deck. They are about to enter the cracker, the machine that does the impossible.
We don't peel pomegranates. We score the tough skin precisely 2 millimeters deep.
Pulled apart, the internal lattice of white pith and red arils is exposed.
The halves are inverted. Gravity will help the seeds fall out. Harmonic tappers knock on the rind, vibrating the seeds loose from the membrane. It rains rubies. The seeds detach whole, leaving the bitter white membrane behind. The empty husks are discarded immediately.
The separation isn't perfect yet. Small bits of white pith have fallen with the precious arils.
Physics does the cleaning. Heavy, sugar-filled arils sink.
The bitter membrane is skimmed off the top, leaving only the sweet fruit below.
Protected by the water, the pristine arils travel to the extraction pump.
Lifted from the bath, the arils are clean, cold, and whole. Vibration shakes off the water, preparing the seeds for the laser eye. Optical sorters scan every single seed for color defects. Defects are sniped out of the air with compressed air. The result is a hopper full of fruit caviar, ready for cold pressing. We press the seeds gently to release the juice without crushing the hard, woody center. The juice flows out, capturing the color and antioxidants. The spent seeds emerge bone dry. We have captured every drop. The raw juice is full of fine pulp and sediment. It needs refining.
We pump the juice into a decanter centrifuge, spinning at 4,000 revolutions per minute. The juice is cleaner, but to achieve a gemstone clarity, it must be ultra-filtered. Ceramic membranes trap particles as small as bacteria, sterilizing the juice without heat.
The haze is gone. We now have 100% pure, clarified pomegranate concentrate. Natural variations in fruit sweetness must be balanced. This is the art of standardization. We reincorporate the fruit's own volatile aromas that were lost during pressing. Oxygen is the enemy. The deaerator strips dissolved air to prevent the juice from turning brown. To ensure shelf stability, the juice enters the flash pasteurization unit.
It is heated to 92 degrees Celsius for just 15 seconds, enough to kill yeast, but not the flavor. The liquid is crash-cooled back to 4 degrees instantly to lock in the fresh taste. From this point on, the juice is sterile. It travels through a closed loop to the filling hall.
A blanket of nitrogen protects the sterile pomegranate juice in the surge tank. Simultaneously, the packaging is born. PET preforms are heated to softening point.
Air pressure blows the plastic into the iconic shape, ready to meet the juice. Suspended by air, the empty bottles fly toward the filling block at speeds of 500 units per minute.
Before a drop of juice enters, the package must be clinically sterile.
Anti-foam algorithms adjust the flow speed to keep the bottleneck clean.
A drop of liquid nitrogen is added. Expanding 700 times its volume, it pressurizes the bottle from the inside.
On instantly, trapping the nitrogen and sealing in freshness. If a cap is even 1 millimeter too high, the seal is compromised and the unit is rejected.
The bottles are tilted to sterilize the only surface that hasn't been treated, the inside of the cap. To prevent the plastic from deforming and to preserve nutrients, the product is rapidly cooled.
The surface must be bone dry. Labels won't stick to wet plastic. Sleeve applicators fire 300 labels per minute with pinpoint timing.
Steam heat shrinks the sleeve, creating a 360-degree billboard for the brand.
Laser coating ensures the expiration date is permanent and cannot be rubbed off.
Computer vision inspects the label application. A torn label means a rejected bottle. Only perfect aesthetic presentation is allowed to leave the factory floor.
Accumulation buffers allow the filler to keep running, even if the packer stops for a moment.
Organized into lanes, the army of bottles marches toward the case packer. They are grouped into 24-count formats, ready to be boxed. While the bottles are grouped, the shipping cases are borne from flat cardboard sheets.
Hot melt adhesive bonds the carton instantly, creating a rigid base.
Soft landing technology ensures the bottles drop without denting the caps or the carton. Sealed tight, the case provides structural integrity for the weight of the liquid. The case checkweigher is the final judge. If a box is light, it means a bottle is missing. Incomplete cases are mercilessly ejected from the flow. Traceability extends to the secondary packaging. We know exactly when this case was born.
Gravity brings the finished stock down to the palletizing arena.
The boxes aren't just stacked, they are interlocked to prevent the pallet from tipping over.
The heavy lifting is done by articulated robots that never tire and never miss.
Slip sheets are inserted to increase friction, locking the layers together.
A fully loaded pallet weighs nearly a ton. It is now a single logistic unit. The stack is stable, but not road-ready. It needs armor. Pre-stretched film is applied with 20 pounds of tension to unitize the load. A top cap sheet ensures the warehouse dust never settles on the product. The SSCC label is the pallet's license plate, unique to this specific load worldwide. While the pallets stack up, the science team validates the safety of the lot.
The lab is the factory's conscience. Production speed means nothing without biological safety.
First, the taste. The bricks test measures sugar content. It must be perfectly balanced.
Sweetness confirmed. Now, we check the acidity level.
Correct acidity ensures the tart kick pomegranates are famous for, while also acting as a natural preservative.
Samples are cultured to detect any spoilage organisms or pathogens.
Results take 24 hours. The clarity test confirms that our filtration system successfully removed all the haze from the juice.
Colorimeters ensure the ruby hue meets the specific standard required by retailers. A retention sample from every batch is kept for 2 years in case of future customer inquiries.
They don't just test the juice. They test the water used to wash the fruit every hour.
Every hour, the metal detectors are challenged with test pieces to prove they are working.
If a detector fails the test, every bottle processed since the last check is quarantined.
The torque test ensures the cap is tight enough to seal, but loose enough for a grandmother to open.
Environmental swabbing hunts for harborage points where bacteria might hide in the machinery.
Machines measure sugar, but only humans can judge the nuance of the flavor profile.
The data converges. Pomegranate batch #402 is officially cleared for dispatch.
This piece of paper is the passport the juice needs to leave the factory. The finished pomegranate pallets enter the distribution center. Capacity, 10 million bottles. Precision drivers slot the inventory into high-density racks with only inches of clearance.
Here, the product rests in a climate-controlled dormancy, awaiting orders.
When a purchase order arrives, the first-in, first-out system identifies the oldest batch.
The shipment is staged on the loading dock, double-checked against the shipping manifest. The reefer container arrives pre-cooled. The cold chain must never be broken.
Before a single box is loaded, the vessel is inspected for odors, debris, and temperature integrity.
But for the consumer, the taste is as fresh as the moment it was pressed.
Loading is a game of Tetris. Pallets are placed tight against the bulkhead to maximize airflow. Airbags lock the cargo in place, preventing shifting during heavy seas.
A spy is left behind. This logger records the temperature every hour for the next 4 weeks.
Once the bolt seal is snapped, the cargo is legally in the hands of the shipping line. From a desert orchard to a breakfast table in London or New York, the journey takes 30 days.
And this is how modern factories produce pomegranate juice from start to finish.